Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Habs Tonight post-game show. I have Annik and myself, Drew Deeks, on here tonight. I know how you're doing, Annik, so I'm not really going to ask, but I'm just going to say hi. Hello.
Hi, Drew.
Well, Habs lose. Was it 5-2? I couldn't remember the score for a second there. Geez. Habs lose 5-2. Oh, okay. We have actually 5-1, but that was last night as one of our titles here. So anyways, we lose 5-2 to the Toronto Maple Leafs in a game that looked like it was pretty well over before the first period was over. So that was a tough game. We know that Caden Primo obviously had a very, very tough game tonight, giving up 4 goals on 9 shots. Very, very tough night for the kid. You and I talked about this and how, well, you thought for sure that Allen should have played last night against Ottawa, and then, Primo should have played last night against Ottawa, and then Allen in tonight against the Leafs. So, do you think that would have made the difference? Or, I mean, once Allen came in tonight, he only let in 1 goal at the very end of the game.
Yeah, I don't want to go around and say that this was a full-on blame towards the goalie. I mean, keep in mind that Primo, this is his 5th NHL game, right? So, of course, he's going to run into some hiccups. It happens. We're not going to blame this on him. I mean, we were watching between the periods. The kid was behind, in the corridors, just shattered. So this is either going to do 2 things. It's either going to boost his confidence for next game to bounce back, or it's either going to affect him of being scared, right? You don't know what you're going to get from him. So, I mean, I hope he doesn't take it personally, move on from it, come stronger the next time. But yeah, my personal opinion was that personally, I think Primo should have started against Ottawa. His 2 games that he won was versus Ottawa, and he played well against them. And I think I would have saved Allen rested for tonight, since it's a much bigger game. No disrespect to Ottawa, but I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. What do you think?
Well, it's a good viewpoint. It's tough to gauge though, just because of how much Montreal has struggled against Ottawa. So it's like,
yeah,
does the goaltender make the difference? It seems like Ottawa, I mean, they don't have a lot to play for other than their own pride and development. And every time they played us this season, my gosh, they were all over us. And that was
same
the
thing
first
for Toronto. Every time they played Toronto, they played them the same way they played us. So there's a reason they gave up so many goals to Toronto as well.
Yeah. So it just seems like no matter what the situation was this season, it was like we were never going to turn the tide on Ottawa, but that's last night's game. They're now thankfully both these games are in the rearview mirror because they were both not pretty, but Montreal did make it interesting kind of in the second period here, or was in the third. My brain is so scrambled because once Lecky got that second goal, that was in the third period off of Tyler Toffoli's shot. At least they had some respect back, they had, I mean, after Caulfield got the little tap in goal in the second period to get them on the board. Great saucer pass from Corey Perry, by the way. That's a sweet play by him. And even near the end of the third period, Perry had a chance. He was by himself falling down and shot it. And it wasn't really a great scoring chance, but if it ended up being one, it would have been pretty cool. Montreal had the opportunity though to get back in this game to get that third goal. I got a power play. The power play has been good lately. Just they didn't convert when they really, really could have used it. But how much stock do you put in this game? Even in these last couple games, given that we're still technically about 9-10 points up on the final playoff spot, where do you make of where the team's at right now?
I don't believe that we're in a shitty position, to be completely honest. I think we've seen a lot from the last 3 wins that we have, that we do have a lot of character and we're able to bounce back and we're able to make it. So I don't think it's a question of willingness and character. We've proved it. I don't know what's going on for specific. I mean, you get guys like Anderson last night who turned around and said, we just weren't ready for the type of plays that they were making, and we came out on the ice flat and not ready. But my question, I guess, towards that comment is, if you're at game number 52 or 53 or whatever you're almost at the end of the season. How can you not be ready for a specific type of game? You've played these teams 8-9 times right now, so you are aware of how they're going to play you and the type of game you're going to have. So you have to be mentally ready for that. You can't go on the ice and not be ready. So I want to say that for next game, obviously it's going to be the mentality of, okay, we know what to expect. We're going to be ready. Obviously, they're all going to say that, but I just hope that when they do come on the ice, that they show it like they did in the last 2 periods tonight, because it was a complete different period from the first period, right?
Yeah, and I mean, I think they did need a couple of saves from Primo there. Like his rebound control wasn't great tonight. And that's, again, no attack on the kid. It's just, he looked nervous after that first goal. Galchenyuk, former Hab, of course, with a sweet backhand goal that, like, I mean,
oh, for sure,
if that was Carey Price in net, like, I think that's going in. So it was a great goal. And then just from there, he was a little more shaky even after that. John Tavares got his own, or actually he got the rebound on the initial shot there. And that right there, it was like, this could get bad quickly. And then sure enough, 3-0. And then Marner comes down and takes all day long to deke around Caden and then tucks it in. So it was just one of those periods where it was like, everything that could have went wrong. One of those Murphy's Law type periods. But for me, I mean, I wasn't like, I know some of us were rattled, like some of us in the group chat were saying things probably that we weren't being very positive, as much as we're on camera. We weren't being very positive in the group chat.
No, and I'll be the first to admit that.
And that's fair. That is fair. That is completely fair. At this point of the season, we could have clinched a playoff spot with a win tonight.
We needed 1 point.
We needed 1 point. So
1 stinking point.
Yeah, exactly. And again, adding to things going wrong, and like Phil Deneau goes out after the first period, so your first line center goes down. Kotkaniemi, who's not very confident right now, is having to move up to the first line center position, and he hasn't even been playing center the last few games. So there's another challenge, because KK's got to jump in and fill that role.
And I believe it was KK too that the goal didn't count for him. Was it first period or beginning of the second when it just missed the line by like this tiny much?
Yeah, the review was in Toronto, so no surprise. No.
The kid cannot buy a goal, so I just felt bad. Like kind of like what Derek's been saying when it comes to Jonathan Drouin. If he gets one Gracie goal or whatever, it's just going to set him off, which is what we need right in front of the playoffs as well. It's KK being set off. But I don't agree with the comments going around that KK should be benched for the playoffs. He should be benched permanently, sent down to Laval. Like, are you guys watching the same hockey as we are? That's my question, is that the kid's all over the ice. It's just nothing's working for him. It's kind of like Lekanen sometimes. He just goes at it, and nothing comes out of it. So it's not for the lack of effort. But Phil Deneau leaving is obviously a huge loss. It's our number 1 center for the time being. So I'm kind of curious to see what's going to come out of this. They didn't really give any explanations, or even going back on a few plays, I didn't see anything specific. So I'm kind of curious as to what's going to come out of it in the next few days.
Yeah, hopefully we get it. We might even get something. The reporters always try to get info on an injured player in the post game. So we'll keep an eye on that on Twitter as we go along here. If anybody wants to come on the show tonight, guys, we have a link here at the bottom of the screen. Send us an email if you'd like to come on the show live at habstonight.com, and we'll try and get you on. We do welcome Leaf fans, so as long as you're respectful and you won't shred us too much, then we'll bring you on. No, we want to have some fun. We want to make this show fun. That's what it's all about. So we do welcome any fans of any team, frankly. But if you want to come on and talk some Habs Leafs about the prospect of a Habs Leaf playoff matchup, I mean, it's going to be good, man. Once we get our lineup back, it's going to be a good playoff matchup if that so happens. Got to mention, of course, that, right near the end of the game, Austin Matthews gets his 40th goal. Could have got it. He wasn't really around this game that much. Like he was here and there, but I didn't really notice Matthews as much. We were pretty physical on him tonight, I thought, and took him out of some plays. But all he needs is one chance. His buddy Mitch Marner, I mean, just a little tuck pass on the left wing. And the thing about Matthews, his skill and ability, he's able to elevate or not elevate the puck. You just don't ever know where he's going with it. And he slides it down across the ice. Not an amazing, typical snipe from Matthews that you usually see, but it doesn't matter. I mean, the guy's got 40 on the season. He's 9 goals up on the Rocket Richard race. And you can't undermine the guy's talent as much as Habs fans. We can't stand him. But hey.
I'm not going to sugarcoat that one.
I mean, I got him up on my wall. I respect the opponent. I have him here. I got McDavid here. But
I mean,
anyways,
look,
got everybody.
just to voice my opinion, he's a great hockey player. He's got amazing talent. You can't take that away from him. Toronto's extremely lucky to have him. Would I want him on my team any given day? Of course I would. Who wouldn't? I mean, he's amazing to watch. My issue, I guess, if we want to call it an issue, is just that they are just up as bum 24/7. He's sitting on the bench. They're zooming on his face. It's like he's the second coming of Christ, like I told you. It's like, calm down. And then they said, oh, Austin Matthews scores one for the ages. What a beautiful goal. Calm down. It wasn't that nice. Just chill.
He was more excited about his 39th goal.
Basically.
That was the other night. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, there was a comment here about we can't forget also, we're going to jump back to Brendan Gallagher for a second. It was his birthday today. But yeah, Steffi Lagua, Habs Tonight co-host. Happy B-Day to Brendan Gallagher. We have never missed you more on your birthday than you'll ever know. But that's the truth.
I mean, I don't think tonight was, we're going to mention Brendan Gallagher, obviously. I don't think it was a part of missing the spark plug tonight. I thought Josh Anderson did a great part in that. He just, again, couldn't buy a goal. He was all over the ice tonight, even drawing penalties from that, I'm going to call it somewhat breakaway or one-on-one he had. Yeah. So I love how he's been playing. It's just, it hasn't been finishing up the way he wants it to, right?
Yeah. I mean, Josh Anderson's, he's pointless in 8 games, but you don't really, I don't even think of that. I don't even realize that because of how much Josh brings to the table. Yeah. By the way, we'll see if we can get an answer on what happened to Danault and his status as the show goes along here, guys. But yeah, I think Anderson's just, he's such a power horse, as we know. And that's why I don't really think about his lack of point production if that happens, because he just does so many other things well, including just controlling the pace of the game. Like, he's a momentum guy, right? So he's like Gally in that sense that he gets the puck, he barrels down the ice, and I mean, he puts his shoulder down. And the one compliment Ray Ferraro gave to a Montreal Canadiens player tonight on TSN was when Anderson gets his shoulder down on an opponent, it's hard to get the puck off him when he's breaking towards the net. So in other words, TSN and some of the guys are pretty pro Toronto, which that's just the way it is, Toronto media, but no surprise. That's why we have RDS as well.
I think my favorite, just to point out an Allen quote that was just quoted by John Liu here, is that Allen made a comment on Matthews scoring his 40th goal, and he said, "It just makes me get on the highlights more," with a smile. So, I mean, at least he's taking it lightly, and it's going to make him strive to shutting him down more. So, I mean, I love the way Allen takes his own crap and just spins it around in a funny way and just moves on from it. But knowing him, it's just going to motivate him to, I don't want to say he even played bad or played better. He played amazing. He had some crucial saves for us tonight. So obviously Jake Allen was the difference in the second and third period. He kept us in the game for some point.
Oh, he sure did. I mean, as soon as he came in, he just calmed the waters, right? Like he makes like 2 big saves, and then he just, as a Habs fan, you just take a deep breath, you know. And he's done that all season for us. But coming in relief, especially, you kind of made the team feel a little better and forget about the first period. We had a chance to come back in this game. I mean, the fact is, we were shorthanded, even more so with Danault going down after having Byron. Tatar was back in tonight. He was okay, but I mean, that line, it was only Tatar left on the first line. It's Gallagher's down, Danault is down. Caulfield shouldn't be on the first line, although Cole did have a very good game despite the score.
Yeah, for sure. I absolutely love how he played. I think he had some amazing chances and was clearly using his speed at one point too to just create any chances he could. So I appreciated his game tonight. Almost knocked down a few and knocked down one actually too. So keep going, kid. I mean, it's only going to get better. The one thing I did not like, and this is nowhere near Caulfield's fault, is both penalties they called at the end of the game to give Toronto a 5-on-3, where Caulfield basically gave him a love tap, and the other guy dives like he was slashed, like you wouldn't believe. So, I mean, I kind of found that like a bit of a cheap call for him, and he looked frustrated about it, right? So, yeah, not too happy about that one, but I mean, it is what it is. Welcome to the game, and you're going to get plenty more, you know?
Yeah, I think it didn't help that, Corey Perry, obviously, he played a great game tonight. Corey Perry did as well. I have to mention that. and he helped give the Canadiens a chance. It's amazing what one player can do. But he gets a roughing call on that same play. He punches whoever it was in front of the Habs net or whatever, and then they both that was I think he punched him twice, so they finally called the second one. But yeah.
My question is, okay, if you're going to call that kind of play where there's 2 penalties on one play, why did they call both calls on Josh Anderson when he got his somewhat breakaway? They called the hooking, but right after, the slash right on his hand, right in front of the ref. So if you're going to call that crap, call it both ways. That's my issue.
Yep.
Period.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point. In a playoff game too, you wonder, they would almost have to call that. If they're really going to try to get barrel down on the game early and set the tone. And if I'm the ref, I would have to call both in both instances, on Anderson and in that play with Caulfield and Perry. So yeah, that's tough, man. I mean, you're going to have to break down these calls, and it's a good observation on your part for sure.
Or you're going to get the typical kind of playoff reffing and playoff hockey where the whistles are just going to be put away and everybody's going to get away
neither.
with it. Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's obviously I'm thankful we at least got one call out of it. But what aggravated me and pissed me off to no belief was that being up 5-2 to give them a 5-on-3, and then they shove their first power play unit when you're up 5-2. I know your power play is not doing well and you're going to do everything just to get a goal, but just tone it down, be respectful, have some class, and just, if you're going to call it both ways. That's my issue with reffing this year, is amongst a lot of other things. Just call it both ways. Sorry, I'm really rattled up tonight, as you can tell.
Don't be sorry. This is why fans tune in. They want to know how you really feel, So, but it's true. I mean, I don't even think we have time to get into what's transpired over the last 24 hours with the Rangers and Washington Capitals. But the main thing I will just say straight out is that, like you mentioned in a tweet earlier, the story of that game should have been TJ Oshie getting a hat trick with his father just passing away. That should have been the story. But unfortunately, Tom Wilson takes the headline. He takes the headline. And, it's just, I don't even know how we get into that conversation because it would just be endless at this point. But the NHL is got a lot of questions to be answered. And that's just the beginning, I think, for some more controversy for them.
I'm kind of curious. I'm just going to put this back up. Okay, we're going to mention that for calling out a league executive or whatever, you get fined $250,000 as an organization. So I guess my question, just to get into it a little bit, is what if different organizations throughout the league decided to back what the Rangers said? Would they have done something about it, or would they have fined every single organization the same amount for disrespecting Peros?
I don't know. All I know is that the Rangers took a bold step. It may cost them, because if I'm them, I'm going to appeal that amount, first of all.
Definitely.
I mean, as wealthy as the Rangers are, they're top 3 wealthiest franchises in the league.
That's
not the point.
Them.
That's not the point, though. It's actually they were trying to make a statement. They just maybe I don't know that they should have named Peros. I don't think they needed to name him. But I do think that they should have called out the behavior. I think they should have called out the behavior and the misjudgment call that they felt was a misjudgment call. Now, should they have singled out George Peros? I don't know. I don't know that was the best move. But I do think that they need to say something. And if they had the backing of other teams before they sent out that message, that maybe could have made a bit more of a difference. And right now, it seems to me like this is a 50-50 opinion from different players that are chiming in. I mean, different players from recent years chiming in the situation, and not everybody is on the side of the New York Rangers. I mean, some players are saying, I think it was Hal Gill. He said, if I would love to have Tom Wilson on my team. So, what do you do about that?
To defend Hal Gill's point, as Tom Wilson, if you look at him as a player of talent when it comes to hockey plays, scoring, or anything like that, of course you'd want him on your team. He's a high caliber, talented player.
Yeah.
I am not taking that away from him whatsoever. It's the aggression side and the dangerous plays that he makes that could possibly permanently injure someone. The permanent offender in him that needs to be addressed. to what point are we gonna go? Is he like he could have killed? Like I know it's exaggerating to the max here, but he could have killed somebody on the ice.
He almost smashed his skull off the ice. Panarin.
So you're allowed to smash. Let's put it into the NHL's logic right now. You're going to smash somebody's head on the ice for $5,000. But then if you turn around and you cross-check somebody in the face, that's worth a 2-game suspension, which rolls out to $28,000 out of his salary, which is like 50 times more. So he could have smashed his face 23 times more onto the ice for the same amount. That to me is just mind-blowing.
That was disgraceful.
Mind-blowing.
Disgraceful, absolutely disgraceful, and that's why I'm like, oh boy, here we go. This conversation could go on all night.
For sure.
And honestly,
but just to like completely address it quickly, I mean, that's just my take on it. It makes absolutely no sense, and no wonder the players address this on their own because they know the league won't. So at some point, you have to take matters into your own hands, and it's just too bad that it had to result into how many fights, how many injuries, and how many suspensions. To what point are they going to let this go?
Yeah, they allowed a line brawl to decide the outcome of the lack of discipline handed out.
Yeah.
And then, what if somebody else gets really hurt, badly hurt there? You know? So it's exposing a truth that's there, and that is that player safety is not good enough, not near good enough. So what does the NHL want to deal with? A guy ending his career or worse? They don't want that look on them. They're trying to grow the game. There's a 32nd team coming into the league at the end of this year. They're trying to grow the game.
Yeah.
That's why the last lockout actually happened. Was it needed to have the salary cap, the whole thing that started years ago, and then the last lockout. All this stuff, according to like somebody like Brian Burke, for example, happened because they wanted to grow the game. They needed to spread the wealth out, and they want more people to enjoy the game, and that's just anyway. That's another side point, but it's just an ugly situation, and it's not going away right now.
Sorry to cut you off. Just to go back to tonight's game, we do have a bit of information on Philippe Danault. So Ducharme said that Danault has been dealing with the upper body injury that forced him from tonight's game for a few days now. So I guess this is a lingering injury, and it's not believed to be serious, but he will be examined tomorrow. So just a lingering injury that just got worse tonight. So
it sounds like day to day
tomorrow. Yeah.
So
which I guess puts him in the same boat as Byron and all that stuff.
In the same boat as what? Sorry?
As Byron.
Yeah. I mean, we could use some speed, and we're going to lose it if we lose Danault and Byron. I mean, we have them both out of the lineup right now. But Saturday is a game time decision maybe for Danault. But that's the thing, right? Like with everybody out of the lineup still, like guys like even Shea Weber, these guys need to be, I mean, especially somebody older like Weber too, who you want the best version of these guys when they come back. Don't know what's going to happen with Drouin. Galley, of course. I mean, Galley concerns me the most, probably, just not knowing where he's really at. But Danault likely day to day, which is better news, than than worse news. I don't know how much worse can it get it for them, I guess, at this point. But
please don't say that.
Yeah, no, I don't want to say that. Sorry.
Don't say that.
Where's the cross? Somebody have a cross or a crucifix nearby? Okay, need to get my Bible over here.
No, we got you've got obviously like a bit of positivity where Galley was skating yesterday, today, puck handling a bit. So at least he's handling the puck, which is great. So I'm happy to see that. Pricer was skating, getting some shots on net today as well. So it's all come together. It's just a matter of taking the time you need. Obviously, for Jonathan Drouin, we do not know what's going on, and we do not have a timetable for his return, which is okay. We need him to take care of himself first before coming back. We had a great chat about that with Pia Parenteau last night, who was talking about the impact of mental health on and off the ice and how it impacts your game as you play. So that'll be a great clip that we're going to release probably tomorrow or in the next couple of days that we'd love for you guys to check out, just to wrap your head around. Hockey is not the only thing going on in life right now. So that's what we need the fan base and especially the media to respect and to understand.
Amen to that. No, seriously, especially in this pandemic-ridden season too, like these guys away from their families, just the up and downs all season long. Like Winnipeg just had a crazy losing streak. Toronto had a crazy losing streak recently, a 5-game streak. Montreal had a losing streak. Everybody's dealt with them. Every team, even the good teams. So like
it happens to the best of us.
There's nothing balanced. If you want to talk about mentally and being balanced, because that's part of what mental health is. I've gone through mental health issues myself, and I have no issue talking about it. Like I actually find it therapeutic because it could help somebody else. Yeah. So I think that this whole season has been off balance. Like Vancouver Canucks getting COVID, all that kind of stuff. That's just the North Division we're talking about specifically. It was rampant in the US as well. Now they got it under control mostly. I'm just going to go back into some game discussion here with you, Nick. And that's a good topic, by the way. We're not trying to get off mental health. It's very, very important, by the way. So do keep an eye out for that clip about PA Parenthood. I love that he spoke about it. And you did a fantastic job with that interview, Nick. So you should be proud of that too.
Thank you.
But yeah, early goals killing the Habs lately. So as we talked about off the top of the show, 4-0 in the first period. This hasn't happened to the Canadiens in a long time. I mean, as injury riddled as they are, I mean, nobody expected a start like this tonight after losing 5-1 to Ottawa last night.
It's what, 6 games or 7 games in a row, they said, that we're giving up the first goal. I mean, our track record is not the best when it comes to playing catch-up hockey. So obviously it's a huge factor, and we've seen it from the games in the beginning of the year where as soon as we score first and try to take the lead first, we obviously get a better outcome. But you can't always rely on we're going to win if we score first. It's not a good mentality to have. It's not going to get you anywhere, unfortunately. It's about the character. You have to bounce back. So I don't know what it is or what's causing us to just give up these goals as soon as possible, as soon as we step on the ice even. I don't know what's going on, how to fix it. It blows my mind and obviously upsets us as fans because it's the last thing we want to see is sitting down on the couch, opening the game, and boom, we're already playing catch-up hockey. It's frustrating, especially against teams where you look at Toronto, they're an extremely talented and strong team. If you're going to play catch-up hockey, it's going to be tough. You're not just going to squeeze a few goals by and poof, you're good to go. They've got Jack Campbell, who's just incredible when it comes to sheer luck sometimes, So I don't know. I just don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things like for me tonight, my mindset simply was I didn't allow myself to be rattled. I try to control like how I feel towards a game. And if there's a reason to be rattled, I will be. But in this instance, just given the circumstances, I'm not happy about it, but it's just like, okay, if this happens now, that's one thing. But if this happens in the playoffs, like this kind of start to a game, like we're not going to have that kind of start to a game in the playoffs, especially when we're healthy and players are back and the lineup is actually looking somewhat normal. That's the other thing about guys like KK. It's like, my gosh, like different line mates every game, center, wing, back and forth. So there's just so many variables in this lead up to the playoffs that wants you to think one way. Okay, the Habs give you hope. They have 3 comeback wins in a row. Well, they were losing in all 3 of those games, by the way, first, and then they came back and won. So It's not a good pattern for success. It's not a good recipe for success. So when a game like this happens where they just go down early and like they're down and out and the game's over, it looks like in the first period, it's the end of the regular season. I don't want to put too much stock in it for the craziness that this season has been. So therefore, when we're in the playoffs, that's when I think things really will settle down and we'll see who this team really is. Now, the chemistry is where I'm a little concerned because I don't know where that's going to be. But if we really do get Galley, Drouin, Byron, Tatar healthy, Dano obviously, Shea Weber, Carey Price, man, like you don't forget that as much as Galley's our heart and soul, Carey's the foundation, right? You build up from him, and then you get the rest of the team to build off of the way he plays. So I think that we're not going to see Carey the rest of this road trip. By the way, Nick, we're hopefully going to see him next week against Edmonton.
Like you said, your veterans are going to stand up and delegate and be able to win you the key playoff games. And even Pat Antou said it last night. if you've got Carey Price between the pipes during a playoff game, he's the guy who will steal you the games and get you where you need to be. We've seen it before. He can do it again. I have all the confidence in the world for Carey Price. No questions asked. But I do have a concern, like you said, of chemistry, where this is nothing against Dominique Ducharme, because I absolutely love Dominique Ducharme as a coach. I just found that he hasn't had a lot of time to implement his system when it comes to this year, since it was a condensed season, back-to-back games almost every week. There hasn't been a lot of times for him to practice and to really get things going with the team. So I hope he gets a second chance, not a second chance. He gets a better chance next season to really get into it. But my big concern is the constant line switching. I know I was bitching about it when Julien was there of switch the damn lines and do something, but they're switching the lines and they're shuffling the lines. So we haven't seen any steady lines in the past couple of weeks where you can say, oh, wow, this line is really working. Let's keep it together and build around it. It's always been switching back and forth, back and forth. And especially, like you said, having KK playing center, playing the wing, playing second line, playing fourth line, playing third, like the kid is all over the place. So how
fourth
can
line to the first line?
How can you develop such a young player like that? People like to compare him to, oh, well, we should have picked Tkachuk because, he's scoring and he's much better. Tkachuk is playing all the minutes in the world on the first line with the same teammates all season. KK's playing an average of 10 minutes, sometimes even less, on the fourth line or on the wing. He's not a winger. He's a center in my book. So I'm kind of curious to see if he's going to stick to a system when it comes to the playoffs, or is he going to keep switching the lines every game? Because I feel if you keep switching the lines every game in a playoff game, you're never going to establish anything and it's going to be a shit show.
Yeah, that's where we have to really hope. That's why I'm hoping, like, how are we going to establish this? There's no time. There's no time. That's the concern for me. So they're going to have some killer practices in between playoff games. Now, will the schedule in the playoffs be as much of a grind? It'll still be like every other night. It kind of will. It'll still be a grind.
You just won't get as many back-to-backs and maybe a bit more time to practice, but it's still going to be, the boys are going to be tired just from these past 2 weeks. You look at Toronto tonight. Toronto's been off since Monday? So they've been having a lot of time to rest. I'm not saying that just because they rested, it's the key to them winning or anything, but you've heard Dale say it before. The schedule is going to take an impact on the guys traveling. Just got back from a Western trip. That's going to take an impact too. Big important games that they played. So I'm hoping that there's a bit more spacing between the games or anything during the playoffs like that. There's more time. Take advantage of it. But that chemistry issue between lines and just the stability is my main concern when it comes to the playoffs right now.
And it makes perfect sense, right? Like, that's a legitimate concern. So that's why we totally understand. Before we, I'm not sure how much longer we're going to stay on, but before we wrap, we would like to invite you guys again, if you want to come on the show, maybe for some therapeutic talk about the Habs. Maybe you're a Leafs fan. You want to come on and, talk about how excited you are about the Toronto Maple Leafs prospect, of them going far in the playoffs. Who knows? I mean, they got to get past the first round, as we all know, but they're built very nicely right now. They have Nick Foligno out of the lineup still. And
they have a few injuries.
Yeah. But that's if you're excited, wherever you're coming from, if you're a first time caller, you can even just do audio if you don't want to come on camera. So live at habstonight.com, send us an email and we'll get you on the show. We love to chat with you. We always love new folks coming on the show for the first time. So do that if you wish. Yes,
I also want to point out, if you want to ask questions, just write in the comments as well. Like, go ahead, we'll put them up on the screen and discuss them. But as for just this one here, Paling is not ready and available. He's had a wrist injury that's season ending. He's going to require surgery and there's no timeline on his return. So he's not available, which is too bad because he's had a killer season, and I'm hoping he's going to be ready for the start of the season next year because he's got a real shot of making the team.
He really does. And that's why you look at, at that point, probably going to take Eric Stahl's spot. I would really like to see, I appreciate Eric Stahl coming in. Don't get me wrong. I've been a big Eric Stahl fan for a long time. But I don't know that he comes back. I think if Poehling is ready, and I expect that he's going to be hungrier than ever to make the team next year, especially after proving himself in the Val, at least in this little shortened season in the Canadian division in the AHL. I expect Poehling to come back, and I expect him to make the roster next year. That's my take on him and the way he's been playing.
Definitely. Couldn't have said him better. He's going to be hungry for it, and I truly wish it for him as much as possible. He's going to be one to look out for. And again, no disrespect to Eric Stahl. He is a great person, great player, great veteran to have on your team, a great leader as well. And he's been coming in clutch for us when it comes to face-offs and stuff like that. But if you're going to take a look at I guess the young kids that could be coming up and improving your team, I think that's what I would go towards, is bumping up Ryan Poehling and seeing what he can bring to the lineup, as opposed to Eric Stahl, which is no disrespect to him whatsoever, but unfortunately, it's the way it goes.
Yeah, like I think Stalzy, if he's going to have his biggest impact, it'll be in the playoffs. That's where
for sure
I expect him to have that sort of that veteran leadership that guys like Corey Perry and himself will bring. Shea Weber. Those are the kind of guys you're going to lean on. Carey Price, even Jeff Petrie, Joel Edmondson. Like these are just the leaders that come to mind. But I think Eric Stahl will be one of those leaders when it comes to the playoffs, and whoever we play. We may end up playing Edmonton. We don't know yet. The season's not done. We may end up playing Toronto. So that's when I think Eric Stahl has an opportunity to show that he can make an impact before he, goes on to another team next year. I don't know that we keep him if Poehling is ready next year. So that's kind of my take on that one. But I kind of saw this comment here. It's kind of sad from Pedro.
Sorry, go ahead. I'm just sending an invite to somebody who wants to come on the show. Go ahead.
Yeah, awesome. Well, that's great. I'm looking forward to that. Pedro says, sorry, but after watching the Habs all my life, I'm 28. You're very young, by the way. I feel like I have...
Come on.
There you go. Hey, there you go. I feel like I have zero hope left for this team. Pedro, hold on. It's
Whoa, buddy.
Very, very early here, my friend. If anything, and you know what's interesting, Nick, is that KK and Caulfield are both the same age. And you kind of see Caulfield, like, at least at this very second. I mean, KK's had a lot more NHL time than Caulfield has, but Caulfield had more development time than KK did. So he came in his 20th year, whereas KK came in his 18th year. But Caulfield does look very ready right now. And I do think that KK is going to bounce back once he kind of gets into, like, remember him in the bubble last year? Like, he was a completely different player. He just turned into a wrecking ball. His physicality was awesome. In the Philly series, especially, like, that was where we're like, holy cow, like, what happened to KK over the COVID break? Like, that was pretty incredible. But I mean, don't give up hope, Pedro. We certainly know how you feel at this point. It's easy to be discouraged. And this season, honestly, is such an anomaly. It's one division. This is like a potential one-time instance in hockey history, having the North Division and all the other divisions the way they are. So don't put too much stock into this season if you're going to evaluate the future of the Canadiens. That's what I would say.
Definitely. But keep in mind also, in the bubble, KK wasn't playing on the third or fourth line. He was playing second line minutes, and he was going at it. So the kid has potential. He just needs to be given the opportunity to show it.
Yeah. I'm really encouraged lately by Nick Suzuki's play. So that has me encouraged. Yes. But this is actually, I appreciate your comment here, Erica. Bad timing for this comment, but I'm happy Galchenyuk is having some success. I got to be honest, as much as he's on the Toronto Maple Leafs, I'm happy for him too. Like, I really have to say, like, that was a point I wrote down to Nick, is that what Galchenyuk needed in order to have some kind of a bounce back in his career before, like, he had no more shots left, he needed a young general manager like Kyle Dubas to have faith in him. And that's exactly what's produced the results that he's had lately. They're putting him with John Tavares. Like, they started him with John Tavares and William Nylander. And he had success. What a concept. Right?
No, you've been saying this as soon as he's got traded. You said he's going to turn his career around by getting the opportunity he deserves. And I mean, I'm not saying he didn't get any opportunities anywhere else. He's had more than enough opportunities to set something up. I personally thought that he would stay in the minors or in the taxi squad, maybe be fourth line for Toronto, but he's been consistent. And I've always been a fan of Chucky. I mean, as a Habs fan, I think everybody at some point's been a fan of Chucky. The energy the kid had, his chemistry with Brendan Gallagher and everything. Everybody's a Chucky fan. So yes, it sucks that it's with Toronto, but as just a Chucky himself fan, you can't help but be happy for the kid. I truly hope he does turn his career around, and I wish him nothing but the best, but it sucks that it's with Toronto.
It would suck it would be pretty, I don't even know if it'd be sweet at all. I think it'd just be bitter if he lifts the cup with Toronto. but hey, looks like we got Nicholas ready to jump in on the show. Actually, he looks like he's just getting ready. He'll be here in a second, but you know what? I put in my notes that Arturi Lehkonen, your boy, took a page out of Galchenyuk's book tonight with his backhand goal when he buried that tonight. So
Lex City,
let's go. Let's go. Playoff Lecky. I'm gonna start calling playoff Lecky, I think.
Playoff Lecky. Go for it. I think we got Nicholas back. So Nicholas, we're gonna pop you in here. How's it going, buddy?
Oh fuck, man.
Are you okay, dude? If you want to have a hug it out and cry, come closer to the camera, man. It's okay. It's all right.
Get a group hug.
Bro, like, I don't even know what I watched. Like, what was that? Fuck.
Like, we got to see your face, though. Let's see your face. We got to. It's okay. Don't be shy. We got to get a little close, get cozy. It's okay. We're all friends. We're all family here. All right. It's okay, man. You can let it out here, man.
So without being too brutal, Nicholas, what did you think?
I mean, the fucking score says it 4-0 after the first period. Like, I just can't put it into words. Like, fuck.
It wasn't pretty. It obviously put a damper on the rest of the game. But if you want to spin it into a positive side, I think we still came back and showed character and capability in the second and the third. Still scored 2. I know it wasn't the outcome that we wanted, but I still think that we did some good things throughout the game. That's just my personal take here.
Yeah.
I know it's not much of a consolation, Nick. I know.
No, I can't. Unfortunately, I can't do anything to make it better for you unless just to offer you a beer from your own fridge or something. I don't know.
Yeah, fuck it.
How old are you?
20.
Okay, you're good.
Yeah.
And you're in Canada?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're just making sure we're okay. We don't want to encourage underage drinking on live on Habs Tonight here. But
Dude, which I'm doing now.
He's taking your advice. He's going to the fridge right now. He's absolutely not wasting time.
I don't know what to. I mean, I had some consolation Oreo ice cream just to eat my feelings out, and I believe your wife made you a wonderful dessert that you had as well, which I'm kind of jealous about. So
I don't mean to make everybody jealous, but I kind of will, because I'll show you the brownie treat that I had tonight just for fun, guys, because we need some happy thoughts and things here tonight. So I'll show you my wife is a pastry chef by trade, and she made this for me tonight. It's a brownie. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, there it is. So it's a brownie sundae, homemade brownie Oreo sundae with peanut butter sauce. Chocolate chunks are in there. So my gosh, it was delicious. But anyway,
does she offer like delivery to Ottawa?
You know what? We can arrange something crazy like that. I mean, it might take a couple of days. It might be melted.
I don't care.
Ship it, right? Yeah.
Melted like my emotions tonight. Just gone.
Oh man, that's so funny. Well, when Nick comes, I don't know if we'll just take Nick out for the time being. When he comes back, we'll throw him in. But yeah, I like some of the comments from these. Oh, we got a Habs fan since 1978. I like this. I really like this. You got to see a couple Stanley Cups in your lifetime. Habs fan since 1978. Let's do this. Price and company. Like, are we just waiting for Carey to get back for everyone to just be like, okay, we can't screw around. We can't mess we can't take another shift off. I don't know what it's going to happen.
It's going to be that, or it's going to be us waiting for Carey to come back for everybody to shit on him as soon as he loses one.
Oh boy.
There's no just. At least they can't blame it on Carey and Weber or Drouin right now.
Yeah, seriously. And Alex, I put a ring on that one very quickly. Okay, so you don't have to worry about it.
She's
This
taken.
is my ring here, but I put a ring on that very, very quickly, and I gained no weight in the process, so I have a serious problem.
Attaboy.
Alex, Nick, you're back.
Yeah.
What'd you get?
Yeah. I didn't find anything. Man,
Didn't find anything.
No,
What's
I
going
got no
on over
beer.
there?
I was
Do you have a
looking,
soda
man.
pop? What do you got? Nothing? Glass of water?
Juice box
He's
or
taking
something?
off again. He's gonna come back with a bubbly.
Okay, there you go.
Coca-Cola.
That's
This
good
section
enough.
of the show is sponsored by. It's not sponsored by Coca-Cola.
It's not
We can
sponsored
afford
by.
that. But
Unless they want to. I mean, hit us up, slide in our DMs.
yeah, seriously, don't be shy.
So,
yeah,
Nicholas, I was going to ask, how did you feel about Anderson's play tonight? I mean, he was kind of a spark plug all over the ice. Just a matter of time before he nets one. What was your take on it?
I mean, I didn't really notice it, but I guess I was just more worried about the score. But I guess,
So
what
besides
game
the
were you
4-0
watching, buddy?
score- Besides the 4-0 score in the first period, what did you want to talk about?
I mean, that's really it. Fuck.
Was that what you wanted to share? And by the way, you're a first-time caller, right? So we want to say
Yeah.
thank you for that as well.
Yeah, no. I mean, I thought Caulfield was good. Yeah, he played well.
There you go.
Backing in too. Yeah, their line they played pretty well. But Primo, I felt bad for. Like, those goals aren't his fault. But I mean, it happens. But fuck. Hopefully, we can play better Saturday. But other than that, yeah.
Well, I think Primo did struggle with his rebound control, like I mentioned that tonight. I think that it was a tough game for the guy, So
Yeah,
I do think that
it's only
his fifth
sixth
NHL
start?
game.
Yeah, fifth,
exactly. You throw him in against the Toronto Maple Leafs, no big task, right? I mean, they're the first place team for a reason, and they've
They got
loaded
goal
up.
scorers. That's it.
They have goal scorers. They have pure goal scorers, and we have one, maybe two, for sure. But we're working on that. The Canadians are. But before we move on, any other thoughts, Nick?
No, that was it. Hopefully, you can play better Saturday. But
And where are you calling from tonight, by the way?
Ontario, Hamilton.
Hamilton, you're 40 minutes up the road from me,
Oh,
dude.
shit.
I'm gonna high five you right now. Where that's how close we are.
I did.
No, hey man, thank you for coming
Thanks
on.
for calling in, buddy.
Really appreciate it, and please call back again. We appreciate coming on. Call in after a win. We'd love to celebrate. We want to see Happy Nick next time.
Yeah.
Bring a beer.
I'll find one.
If not, we've got Crushing Cans tomorrow night. You can bring a beer with them. They'll enjoy it.
I think that's a requirement if you come on the show. No,
you can bring a beverage. It could be.
Doesn't have to be alcoholic.
For all they care. Yeah,
doesn't have to be alcoholic. That's very true.
I bring water, so
You're the only responsible one. Yeah, geez, Nick.
Well, I have to run the back end and understand the two of them, so that's the least I can do.
Yeah, got a little sloppy last week. Well, Nick, thanks so much for coming on, buddy. We really appreciate it, and do call in again, my friend.
All right, take care.
Cheers, buddy.
Take care.
We have one more that's going to be coming on.
Okay.
Who is he? He's one right here. JFD Saints is going to be coming on. Just sent him an email. He has some positive things to share, so can't wait to hear what he has to say. But meanwhile, just to promote a bit of stuff, tomorrow we do have Crushing Cans with Derek and Brandon at 7 p.m. The boys have a huge announcement to make, so make sure to stick around for that one. The whole team is extremely pumped for these guys, for all their hard work they do, creating an amazing show. So can't wait for you guys to see and hear what they have to say and have your feedback on it. On Monday, we have Autour de la Ligue with Shane and myself, where we basically recap what's going on around the league in French. So for all our French fans, this is your time to tune in. And I believe we're going to have maybe a pregame or a postgame on Saturday. I'm not sure what's going to be going on with that. It's probably going to be a last-minute decision. I don't know everybody's schedules and stuff. We haven't really talked about it. So
I think we're good for both, probably. I mean, pregame for sure. I think I'm good, but we'll work that out and try to conjure up some positive energy and clinch the playoff spot Saturday. Let's go.
mean, I create a playoff graphic today, so I can't wait to just share it and get it over with because, I'm just pumped.
Right? I know. Hey, Alex, thank you for that. We appreciate it. We're trying to create a positive community, that's for sure, especially when nights like these happen where you don't really feel a lot of positive emotions, if you will. But that's why, in playoffs, like, we're going to be energized. We're going to be fired up, especially after a win. But the Canadians are going to hopefully be a different team by that point in many aspects. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
And I think it's going to be good too. We might try doing like we did with Crush and Cans last week, is try to do a live streaming of the game with the boys, just have a drink and comment on what's going on. We got a pretty good outcome for that show. So I think a playoff game, especially with Dale, would be pretty cool to have and engage the fans, have a few drinks, have a few talks. So, and if ever you guys have any guest suggestions that you'd like to see on the show, please send them to us. We're always open to suggestions, your feedback. We highly appreciate it. So be sure to do that.
Yeah, of course. And if you haven't already, guys, don't forget to subscribe to the Habs Tonight YouTube channel. Some of our diehards probably sticking in here tonight. We love you guys. We thank you for watching, of course, as we are live here tonight on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. And don't forget to follow us on social media, of course, too. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, Reddit, and we're everywhere. And like we mentioned, we have a former Montreal Canadian on this show, Dale Weiss, and his brother Derek Weiss also. There's a great family dynamic also on this show, I think we should mention. And that's why the last live stream of the guys watching the game was so fun, because we had some great insight during the game from a former teammate of some of these players, Dale Weiss, and also Derek, and just a great dynamic between him and Brandon Legacy. Those guys just have such a great time, and they make it entertaining.
Their chemistry is unbelievable together. They just shoot the shit, have fun, and no hassle. Just have a drink, talk hockey, and talk about things we love, right? And it's kind of like some people have said, it's a good escape from everything that's going on in the world right now, where you're stuck at home, especially for us in Ontario. Like, we still can't go out unless it's for food or Advils,
Yeah.
So it's kind of
purposes.
Exactly. So it's kind of like an escape where you can communicate with others and just take everything off your mind,
Yep. Is it JDF? Is that who? Say didn't get a link yet. I don't know if that's the gentleman that we were looking for.
Yes, it is. And I do have another one here if we have time.
Yeah, go for it. I'll answer this question as it's here from Antoine. Hello, Antoine. Do you think it is good to have players in a franchise who are not necessarily fans of that franchise? I'm not sure if you're referring to a specific player. I'm going to answer this quickly just because I see it fresh there, and I kind of jump.
Yeah, go ahead, and I need to answer this one here.
Yeah, a bit of ADD brain a little bit, but PK Subban will come on the show, I think, at some point this year in the off season. Yeah. When it comes to current players in the NHL, guys, we're going to have them on in the off season when they're not so busy with playing hockey. So that's when we're going to look at having guests like PK. I'm not going to tease any others because I don't have any confirmation on anybody yet, but Brian Giunta would be a great one for sure. But going back to this question from Antoine, I don't know that it's a good idea. I don't know. I think you have to get over that pretty quickly if you're not a fan of a certain team. You're getting a paycheck from that team. So you kind of got to get over that if you're not a fan of the team, is my take on that. What about you, Nick?
I agree with exactly what you said. My personal opinion, for sure.
Unless you have a no trade clause and you have control like Taylor Hall, you can decide where you want to go.
There's that. Yeah.
But that's why Josh Georges, who also appeared on this show recently, decided to not waive his no trade clause to not go to Toronto. Didn't want to go to Toronto and be a Toronto Maple Leaf and go against the Canadians, and he became a Buffalo Sabre instead. So there you have that. That's a good question.
Well, at the time where the Toronto Maple Leafs were standing, it's kind of like the Buffalo Sabres of right now. Would you take a contract and go to Buffalo? Probably not. Because, you can say it's a team that's going to be rebuilding, but how many years have they been rebuilding, switching coaches, switching management and everything? So it's kind of like I don't want to say a rock bottom organization, but they're just stuck in one spot. So having the opportunity back in the day, I probably would have said no. But if he's offered a contract to Toronto right now, obviously you jump on it. You don't say no.
No, you don't say no to money. I mean, like, you don't say
Money,
no to playing.
talent, and the opportunity to get somewhere in the playoffs and hopefully break the curse and get somewhere.
I really cheer for the Sabres. Like, I think lately I've really had a heart for them just because of everything
Like
they've
it's a
gone
little
through.
soft spot.
I do. Like, I really do, though, because I'm so close, right? I've seen more games in Buffalo than any other arena in the NHL because our family's so close. And we've seen a ton of Habs games and a ton of Habs wins in their building. So that's part of the reason for that. But also just like after discovering Melody Martin on YouTube and just the passion that she's poured as a long time, and you could even say suffering Sabres fan, because she's gone through so much, and so is the fan base. But a lot of fans relate to her because they're going through the same thing she is, and she's kind of a voice in that way. So we're hoping maybe to even get Melody on in the show at some point in the future too. That's another possibility. Cristobal Huet, that'd be interesting.
Yeah,
and he was a short-lived bright spot for us, and then went at the 2008 trade deadline, I believe.
Yeah. No, he was a great guy. That's a great suggestion. And I see Alex here wrote it as well. Even if he didn't play with Dale, we're still taking any player, even if they didn't play with Dale. I mean, we still had, we had Chris Nyland on, didn't play with Dale. So Chris Pronger. Yeah. So we have our next guest that's on. How's it going?
We don't
Good.
have
How are you?
Your first name. It's JDF Saint. So what's your first name?
Joe.
Joe. Welcome to the show, Joe.
Welcome. Where are you calling in from?
I'm in London, Ontario.
Jeez, another one in the neck of the woods of Drew. Almost.
Home of another former guest, Brandon Pruss.
The delay's freaking me out. So here I've got some beautiful things to show you guys. Pete Mahovlich.
Oh,
that's a real autograph, isn't it? Nice
stand up from 1975.
Very nice.
Jeez.
I like the blanket backdrop too. Got the Montreal Canadiens
the
blanket rocking. There we go.
And the 1985 calendar.
Bring it up a bit. Which goalie's that?
Steve Penny.
Steve Penny. Wow.
I can't even lie. I haven't heard of Steve Penny. I'm not even going to try to fake it.
Oh no.
I'm embarrassed to say it. I've never heard of him. I shouldn't even admit that live on the air, but I just did. So, what were your thoughts?
The bottom line is there's hope for us. We have hope.
Yes. Preaching, man. Go. Yeah, go ahead. Why do you say that, Joe?
Well, number one, we are still Canada's Stanley Cup champions.
That's true.
Haha. Truth.
As sad as that is. And you know what? The Canadians are making me lose my hair this year.
Whoa,
Steve, that's
nice
the type of dad joke that belongs on our show, Drew.
Yes, it does. Might have to get you for a segment for that. Well done, sir.
I'm a Saints fan. As far as football goes, I'm a Saints fan too. So if we can win the Super Bowl 12 years ago, anything is possible as far as I'm concerned now. So
there you
Drew
go.
Brees is one of the greatest of all time. That's for darn sure. He just called it a career. So cheers to that, man. Well, we have another guest to bring on there, Joe, before we sign off. So we're going to say thank you. Please call again. We really appreciate you coming on. That was awesome. So
thanks, guys. I appreciate it. You're doing a great job.
Thank you so much for that. Be sure to tell your friends. And if you haven't already done it, please subscribe to everything.
Please do. Thanks so much, Joe.
Cheers, Joe. Cheers.
All right, we're going to go right to our next guest. We have Bryce coming on. Bryce, you're on with Nick and Drew. What's going on, man?
Good evening, guys.
How's it going?
It's going well. New viewer. I was drawn to the show by Dutch Gretzky, but then I stuck around for you two guys because you got some good insights and you're entertaining, and it's nice to actually hear some positivity around that.
Thank you.
Once in a while.
We love to hear that feedback, man.
We love to hear that.
Yeah,
we get the other side so much.
And I don't know. I'm still kind of optimistic too. I mean, there's been a lot of adversity. There's been a lot of trials this season, as there has been for every team. And I don't think that we're that far away from, being able to compete. I think that we're really missing a guy like Gallagher right now, kind of being like the heart and soul of this team. And I think that's really lacking, in terms of like physical play, like maybe not so much like, heavy hitting and things like that, but just players that are willing to, just work and, impose their will and just be dogged on that puck and fight, for every inch. I see kind of Stahl out there, and it just seems like, I love the player, but it just seems like he gets stripped of the puck and that's kind of it. He's out of that play. It's just, it's moving on without him. And, you think back to a guy like Steve Bégin, like all those years ago, smashing his face into the boards, coming back, like that stuck with me. And I think like that's the kind of attitude that we're going to need, especially if we're playing the Leafs. Like skill isn't going to do it. We need to just want it more and have the will to get past them if it's even possible.
Yeah, we're gonna need the boys to give their 110% like B Galley does every single shift. It can't be for just one period at a time. It's going to be for every single shift. So you're right on that point. I can't wait to see. There's always that unsung hero that stands up every playoff series. So I can't wait to see who it's going to be for us this year. Like we see Toffoli that's playing an unbelievable season. Is this going to continue during the playoffs, or is it going to be a bit more of a Max Pacioretty type of thing where you see him less and then you get somebody else out of nowhere, like let's say Jake Evans, who just shines in the playoffs, So what's your take on that? Who do you think is going to shine?
I've been really impressed with Evans, and for the longest time, it was like, who is this guy just kind of in and out of the fourth line? And then the more I've had the chance to see him play, he kind of exhibits that, like he's got that drive. And even Anderson, like tonight, it's just, man, I wish he could just hang on to the puck when he makes those moves, where he utilizes his speed. It's like he can't walk and chew gum at the same time. Sometimes it's like really fast and very powerful, but puck's just gliding away from him, or he's just
that close.
Exactly. Yeah. So
I think he's having to do too much right now too with everybody out. I think that's part of it too, is he feels the weight on his shoulders to try to step up and carry the team in Galley's absence, in now Danault's absence. Tatar was in and out. I mean, like, I think he's just taking on more than he has to right now because of the situation. Yeah. I see what you mean though.
So my question would be just something I've noticed is, let's say he's scoreless in the past 8 games, you said, Drew, or pointless? Yeah. Okay, so he has been rising more as a leader and showing character towards, like, in the room. But ever since he's been wearing the A on the shoulder, it's kind of, I don't want to say it's what's bringing him down, but would that be considered as what's heavy on his shoulder right now, that it's keeping him from going back to the power horse he was at the beginning of the season? Could that be a factor?
I think it's part of it. I think he's the voice of the team right now. Weber's out, Galley's out, like your main media guys that really kind of speak, are like a spokesman for the team. He's kind of become that, and deservedly so. But at the same time, he needs some help, and then he can't do it all. That's kind of part of it. But I see where Bryce is coming from though, because it just seems like he can't finish right now because he feels like he has to kind of do everything right now.
I kind of saw it like just with Primo too. Like I kind of felt bad for him because you mentioned earlier, like rebound control was kind of like an issue for him, and it was just the difference between the puck going where you want it to or smothering it or being a bad rebound is just such a small margin for error. And your nerves are going, you got the adrenaline going, and you're twitching to make a save instead of being fluid, like you see Price do all the time. Just that nervous energy, just that twitch is all it can take. You can still make the save, but then, oh shit, the puck's completely not where I wanted it to go, and it embarrassed him a few times tonight. So I do feel bad because that could just be jitters, and it doesn't help. He's got some of the best goal scorers in the league, or if not one of the best goal scorer in the league. Coming down, not an ideal situation, but
we spoke about it a bit in the pregame show the other day, Drew and I. Is Primo is without a doubt the future of this team. For his 5th NHL game, he still has some great moments and some great games in him, but he will benefit from a full season in Laval and hopefully playoffs next year, just to gain more experience on that puck control, the rebound control, and even the puck handling behind the net, where I still find that he's a bit nervous. So He is not 100% ready to be a backup right now in the NHL. He is an AHL starter, don't get me wrong. He's been playing amazing in Laval. But I do believe that one more full season and he should be good to go as a backup.
Yeah, and he's also here at a time where you wouldn't really like him to be here. It's playoff time, right? I mean, he's not quite ready for playoff hockey in the NHL yet. Yeah, like we're asking a lot of the kid, like Bryce kind of touched on too, like coming in against
UA, right?
Yeah. We used to have the UH yet. UA. Well, he says UA anyway. Well, I wanted to ask you, Bryce, what player you got on the reverse retro? I love the retro jersey tonight.
Pricer. Yeah, my girlfriend got it for me for Christmas. She was asking my brothers which player I would want on the back. They're both Leafs fans, so they're just you can't go wrong with Price, and I tend to agree. I might have gone like with a Koivu or something like that, because that was kind of I was a fan for, like, I'm 37. I was a fan, like, and I saw them in 93 and don't quite remember before that, but 93 was a big one for me, and then kind of fell out. And then early 2000s when Koivu was captain, that's when I really got back in. Kind of ashamed, like, Ribeiro was one of my favorite players of all time back in the day.
Mike Ribeiro.
Can't go wrong with Price.
He was fun for a while. Yeah, for sure. We would love to get Saku on the show. We'd love to get Carey on the show. We're not promising anything, but I mean, that's one of our goals.
We're gonna try.
Dale Weiss is the captain of this team, and he's going to do his best to get all the players on that fans want to see and talk to. I mean, you can interact and talk to these guys live on the show, which is the most unique and beautiful thing about Habs tonight. But any final thoughts, Bryce, before coming on? We really appreciate you calling in.
I hope you get more guests like that. I don't know if you'll get a candid interview out of Carey until after he's retired. I like that Plecky interview that he did, where it's like, oh wait, Plecky's actually got a personality. Some of these guys, like, when they're still in the league, like PK, of course, being an exception, but they keep their cards really close to their chest, and I feel like once all the smoke is cleared and there's not like this onus on Carey to kind of be steady Eddie, and the stories and the real thoughts and feelings of his come out, I think it'll be really interesting. But keep up the good guests and keep up the good work, guys.
Much appreciated, Bryce. Thank you so much for calling in, and don't be afraid to call in again for all our other shows. We welcome you, and you're part of the Habs family now.
Loved your insight too, man. You said we have good insight. You have good insight, my friend. So please
Thanks, guys.
Keep it up. Back on.
Have a great night. Enjoy the weekend, and hopefully we'll get a win for you on Saturday.
Awesome. You too, guys.
Cheers,
man. Brycer. I'm going to call him Brycer. I hope you don't mind. We already got a nickname for you. I'm sure that's not the first time he's heard that, but cool insight from Bryce and Joe and
everybody tonight. Yeah. We've been at this for over an hour, so I think we should wrap up, let these people go to bed, and
we'll allow that.
Get ourselves to bed and just sleep off this game and crap of emotions.
It was nice to think about something else for a little bit here, right?
Yeah, I feel better. I'm gonna admit it. I feel a bit better.
Yeah, I know, it's therapeutic coming out. Like Steffi and I realized that as we were doing post game, so we're like, you know what?
I feel better.
Fun to come on after losses, but we do feel better at the end of it. That's a fact.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Well, here we are, folks. So we mentioned it already, but do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. As you can see, we love having new supporters come on and be part of the show. We want you to be part of this as much as we are. That is such a key point, is that you guys make up this entire show. There is no Habs Tonight show without all of you guys watching right now. So we thank you from the bottom of our hearts for watching tonight, especially after a tough loss. But we love our Habs, and we're certainly excited to see what's going to happen ultimately once we clinch a playoff spot and what our team's going to look like at that point. But at the end of the day, we really appreciate you guys. And any final thoughts, Nick, before we sign off with our lovely viewers here?
We are going to win Saturday night. Book it.
I love the confidence. Yes, absolutely. Well, it'll probably be you and I for maybe a pregame. That's most likely the case.
We're going to have another killer dad joke for you guys, because that's just what we do. And
I have to bring Joe on for that.
Gonna make my hair fall off.
That was awesome.
Thank you, Joe, for
highlight of the night, man.
That was the comedy I needed tonight. So thank you for that.
Joey,
like Drew said, thank you so much, you guys, for all the support. We would not be where we are without you guys. We broke 5,000 subscribers on YouTube this week, which was a huge accomplishment for us. especially within 2 months of doing this. We cannot wait to have a live show with you guys somewhere as soon as it's legal to get out. And even as
Yes,
co-hosts
oh my gosh,
here,
yes.
we still haven't met each other in person. We only know each other virtually. So we cannot wait to have a night where we all meet, have fun, shoot the shit, and bring you guys some new content. So make sure to tell your friends, keep subscribing, and we will see you on Saturday for a pregame and possibly a postgame. So take care, stay safe, and thank you so much for tuning in tonight, guys. Thanks, Drew.
Thank you, Annik. We'll see you guys soon. Thanks for everything. Go Habs, go.